Hey everybody, I'm Phil Town here from Rule One Investing. In this video, I'm talking all about the importance of education in life and in investing, okay? So keep watching to hear more about what I'm reading, why you should invest your time in all types of educational resources, and how you can follow in the footsteps of the best investors in the world. I guess one of the critical things I think that you'll learn as an investor is that you don't do a lot. It's like we talk about it like as sort of our style is laziness bordering on sloth, but what we mean really is that you only take action once in a while, but most of the time we're reading stuff and just trying to keep up with things. So, my daily reading is Wall Street Journal, Financial Times from London. I read Barron's and they change articles every day. The New York Times. So it's kind of a daily routine. It doesn't take a ton of time to kind of just glance through everything, and particularly looking for companies that we might want to own or companies that we do own. It doesn't take very long. But the major reading is sort of whatever I want to read, whatever just strikes me as interesting. And we learned that from Charlie Munger. Charlie is one of the best read people in the world. There's a rumor out there that this 98-year-old guy reads a book a day. There's a rumor that Buffett reads 500 pages a week. So, and you can actually do that. I mean, you're not going to read it like every word. You're going to scan things and kind of move through things quickly. But you learn to read a lot of stuff, and I like it. I've learned to read, and it wasn't something that came real naturally. I was a river guide out there. You don't do a lot of reading and running rivers, but now I read a lot, and I really enjoy it. I read 10Ks. That's what I read to Melissa when it's time for bed. I read her a 10K, and then she's out in 2 minutes, gone, because it's all legal stuff about this business. Melissa got me the entire journals of Lewis and Clark. There's this wonderful book that was written that got the Pulitzer Prize about Clark and Lewis's journeys, but this thing is their actual writing. And we start to think about what the impact is on us, like what we consider risk now. For example, Julius Caesar's rolling through Europe. Those guys are taking their life in their hands every step of the way. Lewis and Clark going up the Missouri River. I mean, man, every bend in that river could be their last on earth. And even though they were going into something new, they knew how to approach it step by step. They used a very conservative process. They were taking their time. Julius Caesar, same thing. When they would move carefully because it's dangerous out there. And there's a lot of parallels with investing when you read this sort of stuff. You start to realize, wow, you can invest like charge off into the wilderness and hope it all works out and maybe never be heard from again. Or you can follow the greatest investors in the world. And that's, these guys have read a lot, and that's where they get a lot of their ideas of how to properly assess risk and how to properly deal with risk. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, reading that. I've been reading The Phoenix Project, which is a fascinating book. It's a novel about the catastrophe of being an IT guy in Silicon Valley and what it's like when the IT department is not run like a manufacturing plant. And I mean, I don't have a real purpose in terms of what company am I looking at that this book would inform me about, right? It's just a novel. But man, it lets you understand a lot of processes. And I think not just in terms of companies we're looking at that might be like an Apple or a Google or somebody that's in like Microsoft, that they're deep in Silicon Valley, but also looking at our own processes as investors, right? What are we doing? What do I do to basically make a really intelligent series of steps to evaluate a business? And I find that really following kind of Silicon Valley IT, agile software management, if you want to call it that, is a really good model for doing analysis of businesses. So it's like you almost can't read anything without having it come back and influence you as an investor. And that's what I think I love the most about this whole world we're in. And I think what you find out is that things are connected. It's like I don't try to ask questions about how is this connected to this because it gets in my way. It's the same thing with writing. So reading and writing are just a process of taking it in and letting it out. And I think that's the same thing that happens with investing. You're taking in all this information, and then the letting it out part is going to be when you see a company and you start to read about a company and something just triggers that, yeah, I understand that. So I think this, just reading anything is valuable and will influence your life as an investor. But the main thing is you should read. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found this video helpful and encouraging. My challenge to you is to make time this week to find educational and reading that's really insightful. Check out some of these resources on our Rule One website. It's linked below, and I see you in next week's video.